I'm off. Not my words, you understand. I'm going to be here for at least the next 10 minutes, but the words of Lucas Paquetá. Well, sort of. I've paraphrased slightly, but I'm quite sure by the time we get to the end of this video, you will also conclude that Lucas Paquetá is going to be leaving West Ham United. He's pretty much said it. We're going to look through his social media post, and then we're going to discuss what I think was quite an odd thing for Fabrizio Romano to say about basically leaks on social media stopping his move to Aston Villa. It's all a bit weird. We will cover that. Obi-Wan shirt. Have you noticed it in the background? Obi-Wan shirt. Thought I'd do a little bit of background eye candy for you. Also in support of him, because I think he might be dropped this weekend. And he's still my favourite. That's not changed, by the way. I haven't got it framed yet because, well, I just haven't. So it's just on a hanger. I think it's just on like a Primark hanger or something like that up there. Anyway, I think if I got it framed, the glass you probably wouldn't see it because the glass would reflect the light. Anyway, don't need to hear about that, do you? Let's talk about Lucas Paquetá and let's have a look at what he has said on his social media. It says it's about choosing those who welcomed you. This is lovely. It all starts off very flowery and lovely. It's about choosing those who welcomed you, who never judged you. I feel like there should be some sad background music when I read this. I'll start again and imagine some soft, sad background music because it feels like the mood. It needs that mood, right? It's about choosing those who welcomed you, who never judged you, who believed in you until the very last moment, who loved you and made you feel at home. It's about staying loyal, for the moment, not only when you had everything, but also when there was nothing. It's not time to say goodbye yet. I didn't put the yet in. The yet is not mine. The yet is not mine, right? It's not my yet. He said yet. I've ruined the song, sorry. It's not time to say goodbye yet, but let's go together one last time. Oh, sorry, for one more season. I definitely changed a bit. So he doesn't say one last time. That's me saying that. Let's go together for one more season. And then there's some emojis. There's a one. If you know that emoji. There's a heart. And then there's I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is correct. But there's, like you're meant to have the crossed hammers. There's a pickaxe instead. I don't know if he's going mining or something. Maybe it's just. I'm sure in the original, it was crossed hammers, right? But you know what it's like, right? Some phones pick up emojis and display emojis differently. You've all seen it, right? What's your favourite emoji, by the way? Have you got a favourite emoji? I'd be very, very interested to know. Anyway, let me know. Let me know what your favourite emoji is. Anyway, you don't have to. Just if you wanted to join him. He's off ski, isn't he? It's not time to say goodbye yet, but let's go together for one more season. I'm off. I'm leaving. It's not a massive surprise to anyone, is it? We all knew he was going anyway. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about what he said, what it means, and what Fabrizio Romano said about all that stuff. He did the phone and throwing it away. We've got a slightly different slant on that now. But I'm very pleased he's staying, by the way, for the season. And I'm not at all offended by this. I didn't expect him to have one more season. I thought he'd be gone now. I thought he's either going to get found guilty by the FA hearing, commission, panel, whatever. Thought he's either going to be found guilty, in which case he'll either get a lifetime ban or a ban so long that it would eclipse the length of time he's contractually obliged to play for West Ham. So he's either going to be banned and we'll never see him in a West Ham shirt again, or he'll be sold and we never see him in a West Ham shirt again. I think I've already had 3 bonus goals off him, and he looks looking good, isn't he? Right? So I've got no problem with this. But I do think it's a bit of an odd thing to do, and I think the timing of it is slightly odd as well. Before I discuss that, we have got a really good bet for you. Now, this bet involves Lucas Paquetá. We've said before that we will do boosted bets by our partner Boyle Sports. Well, yesterday we discussed the boosted bet, which was if West Ham win 2 out of the next 4, they boost the odds to 5-2. This is our bet. So basically, Hammers Chat have made this bet up. What we got is West Ham to beat Tottenham, Bowen to score, Paquetá to be booked. There you go, 12-1. Hammers Chat boosted bet on Boyle Sports. Only through Boyle Sports. And here's the thing, because we've got a partnership with them, we're really, really pleased we're able to do these bets and get the odds boosted. Only for West Ham fans, right? This is the thing. You're not going to go and find that these bets, that non-West Ham bets are boosted. No. Just these ones. Got to use the link in the description below that says you've come from Hammers Chat. If you do that and you've got a new sign-up, and you're a new sign-up, you will get £30 worth of free sports bets and a £10 worth of free casino bets. Don't get that just by joining on the internet. You need to use that link, right? Now, there are some terms and conditions. But firstly, you've got to be an adult, 18 years and above. We would encourage you to bet responsibly. But to qualify for this, you've got to use the link below and you've got to deposit £10. And if you then go on and spend £10 on a bet, that bet would be a case in point. Then at that exact point that bet ends, you get 40 quid's worth of free bets credited to your account. There you go. Links in the description below. We will have, there you go. That's our boosted bet. We're getting it early, so you've got a chance to have a look at it. Thank you very much to Bob Sports for indulging us with our bet there. We think it ain't a bad one. I'll let you guys decide. Right, let's get back to Lucas Paquetá, or Paquetá, should we say? I don't know why he's chosen to do this now. He doesn't need to do this now. He can very much... Look, he can't leave now anyway. It would sort of have made a little bit more sense if he'd have done this before the start of the transfer window, or when he heard... Okay, no, the best time. When he gets found innocent, when he gets acquitted of the misconduct charges by the FA, then you do that. Thank you for sticking by me, for the loyalty, for all the lovely stuff. Let's go for one more season. The timing of that would make sense. We go, okay. Tickety-boo. Lovely. Let's do it. One more season. To do it now, well, the transfer window just closed a week ago. You got, to be fair, you ain't got any choice. You've got to be here for at least half of that anyway. You don't have a choice. You've got to play for West Ham. I don't mind. Look, I don't particularly mind. I just think it's... Why do it now? I do understand that he was close to joining Aston Villa. Well, not that he was close to... He wanted to join Aston Villa. And it's like Gio always says, both things can be true. I think he would have been happy to join Aston Villa and he was happy to remain at West Ham. He didn't have there's no... It's not either or, and because the transfer to Villa broke down, he's thrown a hissy fit or a tantrum. That's not the case. And I actually would think that he would understand West Ham, thinking, well, hold on, if West Ham are only going to... If Aston Villa can't afford to buy me, which they couldn't at the time, then he probably understands that West Ham have backed me and all the rest of it. I understand they're going to want a fee if they sell me. It would have left us in an unadvantageous position anyway, because we wouldn't have been able to replace him. The irony is we might have gone for Harvey Elliott, and look how that ended up anyway. But look, Lucas Paquetá's staying. He's in really good form, and you've got to look at the goals he scored, and I thought he was absolutely magnificent against Forest, by the way. I think West Ham would struggle to get, at the moment, a player that would be performing better than him anyway. So, yeah, no problem. Him leaving at the end of the season, no problem. Honestly, don't mind at all. I just think the timing of it is quite odd. I guess he's just almost given us forewarning. He's given us prior notice that he's going to leave. Yeah, as I say, we sort of knew it anyway. So, I'm not saying it's a long story, as the timing's weird. What was interesting with Fabrizio Romano was... I am going to paraphrase now. I've not got it to read out. But Romano more or less says if it wasn't for the transfer being leaked on social media, Lucas Paquetá would have moved. And I believe he was talking about the Aston Villa transfer. So, I don't fully understand where he's coming from with that. I think he's suggesting that the move to Aston Villa might have been a secret. I'm not sure too many transfers are a secret these days. Someone's going to be leaking them. And the great irony is, it's probably him. It's probably Romano leaking the bloody stuff anyway. But anyway, because because the transfer to Aston Villa was leaked, it was scuppered and he couldn't move. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think usually the most logical explanation is usually the explanation, right? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. That's a good emoji. A duck, by the way. Anyway, I think it was just that Aston Villa couldn't afford him. I don't think it had anything to do with the news being leaked or anything like that. It was just quite an odd thing to say, particularly, I guess, in terms of that story, the messenger, the deliverer of the message, in terms of Fabrizio Romano, is quite important. If anybody, I'm not sure he was necessarily complaining. I don't want to over-paraphrase him, but I don't know. You know, he certainly would have no grounds for complaint. Bear in mind, that's what he does. He's an ITK. He's the one that says, this player is going to move to this club. It's really close. Oh, and by the way, here we go. It's happening. He's got a little... I guess he's got someone that does his Photoshop in, or maybe it must be AI. It's probably AI, all the images and stuff like that. Here we go. I don't know. No, I don't think the leaking of it made one blind bit of difference at all. It was all about the money. And I think if West Ham could have got the money, if Aston Villa could have afforded it, I think he would have gone if it would have allowed us again enough time to get a replacement in. And that's what I think will happen next season. How much money will we get for Lucas Paquetá? As someone said earlier, we won't get the 60 million. Well, we weren't getting 60 million this season. But that's the point. We wanted 60 million, but no one was giving us. I mean, as far as we understand, there was an offer from Saudi Arabia. We don't know what it was. By the way, they're paying Josh Brownhill over 120 grand a week net, by the way. Anyway, I don't think that we were going to get 60 million. So I do think this, though. If he does score, he's already scored 3 goals this season. If he has a good goal-scoring season and he carries on the season as he started it, and he does look like a player that's playing without the weight of the world off his shoulders, which you can completely understand. If he continues doing that, then I think we have every chance of getting a good fee for him. I do believe Lucas Paquetá is a world-class player. I'm not saying he's like the top 10 players in the world, but and your definition of world-class might vary somewhat. If some people think the world-class is only the top 3 players in the world, no. But I mean, if you play on a European stage, he's won a European trophy, of course, with us. If you play for the Brazilian national team, all that stuff. If you're a £50 million footballer, yeah, look, I think that's where he is. I think he's a world-class player who's been underperforming because of everything that's happened to him over the last 2 years. So I think if he can get to that status where he signs for a big club, then I don't really see the problem. And I think the thing is with Lucas Paquetá, you wouldn't be surprised. When he was linked to Manchester City, no one said, what, City? Really? Lucas Paquetá? He thought, yes, I can see him playing there. So any of these Champions League teams are interested in buying him. It makes sense. It's not like you look and think, oh, no, he's nowhere near Champions League standard. When he's at his best, he is. He is exactly that. So, I think we get him for another season. And I'll make this point, right? I am still worried about relegation. If Lucas Paquetá this season is the difference between West Ham getting relegated and not, and he's already scored 3 goals this season, so I think you could make the case that he might be that. It's not unreasonable to suggest that, for instance, him and Bowen could score the necessary goals to keep us away from the bottom 3. If that happens, then, I mean, he's been worth retaining anyway. Even if we were going to go and get, let's say, 45 million for him next season, which was not the 60 million, well, the money we've obviously saved by not getting relegated is huge. So he plays his part. So I've got no problem. I've got no problem with any of it. And there you go. Right, I'm going to skedaddle now. Don't forget your bet in the description below. Go and have a look. Basically, a little drop-down screen under here. Don't know what I'm talking about. Underneath where you're watching this, whether it's on your phone or your laptop, there's a little drop-down menu. I think it says read more. You can have a look. All the stuff in there, all the details in there. By the way, just above that is a subscribe button. I would like it very much if you would indulge me in clicking the subscribe button and then the bell next to it. Been absolutely blown away by the number of new subscribers on the channel. So very, very grateful. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for everybody that's engaging. Thank you for everybody who said such such lovely. We had an interloper. We had an intrusion in yesterday's video. It was my dog Zippy. So thank you for everybody that said lovely things about Zippy, who's had a new haircut. So we'll get him on again very, very soon, no doubt. If he was in here now, he'd probably be trying to pull down the Obi-Wan-Bissaka shirt. He's got nothing against Wan-Bissaka, nothing against him at all. But anything that's sort of hanging up about that height, I think he seems to think it's a chew toy for him. Anyway, I'll catch up with you tomorrow.